Hey everybody, welcome once again to another Low on Health Rambling. This one's basically going to be a catch-all for a bunch of the gaming side stuff I've been doing for the past couple years, mainly in 2021, highlighting some of the reasons why I was able to essentially play over like 400 games. And once again, when I play games, I play them mainly for achievements. Like usually I don't play a game unless it has achievements. But even more recently, I've been playing a lot of games not to completion. Actually, I don't play that many games to completion at all.
Not unless you really like them.
Maybe like 15% of the games will actually play through completion. And a lot of people are like that. I'm more amazed by some people who play video games and don't even get to the end of the story, especially if it's a game they bought. Keep in mind, most of the games that I'm playing are coming from Game Pass or Xbox Gold or like have free trials or free versions and whatnot. So like I don't have that much of a commitment to feel I need to play them through completion. And what I want to do now is kind of go over some of those games that I've been doing that. So really last year, we see here that I played roughly over, well, it says here I started 447 games, which seems absurd. Played 469 and I completed 50. Now, this website is my main website I use to track a lot of my data sets, how many achievements I gain, my ratio, etc. What's more interesting about this is when it comes down to DLCs and some things and base games, or basically a lot of things I will play twice because it'll be an Xbox version and a PC version that kind of doubles up the amount. But some of these games, yes, I do play through twice because I get achievements, which is the reason why I play most of these games. And of course, I'm not going to scroll through all 400 plus games here. I'm just going to do this to show, this is showing a snapshot of every single game that I played last year. I just want to see how many times I have to scroll through this until it stops, which seems like a very, very large.
Yeah.
Large.
You play a lot of games.
Large. So yeah, this is all 2021. Now, 420 games, you're like, wait a minute, there are 365, days in the year,
Oh,
right?
there will be some weekends where you'll blow through a dozen games, and
Yeah.
like by the end of the weekend, I can't remember how many games you've
Yeah, and this
played.
is why I keep track of lists and have this website to keep track of
You
all
wouldn't
that.
be able to remember either. Yeah.
No.
Too many.
Yeah. So that's what I kind of did in 2021. Now, specifically in July of 2021, I started 102 games, it says. 102 games. Which is crazy. That's 1/4 the games that I played in 2021. That's also probably more games than people play in 5 years.
Probably.
Now, the main reason for that was because I found a bunch of games that you could basically play free trials on. They either had time trials, like a couple hours, or you could play up to this certain chapter or the certain story point, but they all had achievements. Most of these games would have like an hour or two, so I played for like an hour or two. But I would play them, get the achievements, and then bow out. The majority of these games are these Mundi games, in which case they're almost like these old school point and click adventure games, but not really. They also had like these hidden, like the Highlights magazine hidden images, like here's a mess of stuff, find the broomstick, find the toothbrush, find like these type of things, or combine this and that. I played almost every single one of those types of games that was available on Xbox.
Almost every one of them was very chill too.
Yeah,
it's
and
nice.
They remind me of like dime store romance novels where it just gets the point across. It's just a basic game that you can buy and play. And a lot of these have multiple like series, like they're numbered. They're like a mystery, like detective mystery or fantasy this or blah 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 that. But I played like a lot of those in July because I could just boot them up, play for an hour or two, pitch them, play for an hour or two, pitch them. Yeah, as I scroll through, there's not too many of them here. I kind of peppered them throughout. Here's a good run of them throughout the month. But yeah, in July I played so many of those, and that kind of really just bolstered up that. There's also a bunch of other free kind of clicker or type of just grindy games that I would play a little bit. Once again, mainly just for the achievements. Moving along here. Last year, I actually did buy more games than I ever have. Now, why would I do that? Because Game Pass gives me so much. Well, I like the Life is Strange series, and Life is Strange True Colors was coming out, and I was going to buy it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy that, and they actually had a deluxe edition, which would come with remastered versions of Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm, which are like my two favorites. So I'm like, whatever, I'll buy that. Cool. Bought that, was happy, moved on, loved the game. Another game I bought last year that I bought twice was Doki Doki Literature Club.
Because it's fantastic.
So this was a free Steam game. I should actually do a whole video about why these are impactful and why I like them, because it would go into the broader visual novel stuff that I like. But nonetheless, because I liked it so much and it was a free game, I bought it on Switch, and then I also bought it on Xbox, and I bought that, and I'm more than happy with that.
I'm looking up what otome means because I'm pretty sure they're otome games.
Okay.
Yes. Or they're usually directed at women.
Yes.
But yeah, basically an otome game.
Another thing that made the reason why I was able to play so many games last year is that
It's bothering me.
Game Pass, Xbox, is adding games from the studios that Microsoft is buying. And as we know, they're buying a bunch of different studios. So they bought Bethesda,
Yes, that's a thing.
and they basically dumped all these games at the beginning of 2021
Here's
onto
Bethesda
the
games.
service. No, I played a bunch of those on Xbox back when they first initially came out. Some of them I didn't. It's like I would play them because I rented them through GameFly. But a lot of these are also now on PC, and they have a different achievement stack. So they have separate ones, so I could basically replay the whole game and get more achievements. So I played those for hours, just replaying through them, grinding, getting all the achievements, playing through some of the stories again. And that was just a huge chunk. No different than when EA got added, I played through a bunch of their games. And going forward, when the Blizzard deal happens, on the Activision thing, who knows how many games are going to get dumped on a Game Pass and on PC that I'll just get inundated with. But with like that, it was fun. It was fun to play through some of these games again. It was good to walk, back in time and play these great games. Another thing I started to aggressively do was engage with the Microsoft Points program, which is the classic.
Did you start doing that in 2021?
Yep. Which I started to
You've
do.
been doing it that long?
And it's just one of those basic things where you earn points by using their search engine, playing certain
By doing
games.
stuff. Oh, that's when you had to play Roblox repeatedly or log in for X number of days or
like
whatever.
do stuff like that. There's also
Oh.
like surveys and just looking at different things.
Yeah.
But this is actually a way because on the Xbox side they have like play this game, do this, get an achievement in a game, do that, get Microsoft points, and those would add up. Now usually with these
they
things you can just buy like cosmetic stuff or bullshit like little just like emotes or whatnot. But the cool thing with this is you can actually redeem
For real games.
Microsoft points. So not even just games, you get Microsoft points. So just like they have the basic gift cards, but they actually have, see if I can scroll down here, Microsoft gift cards. So you basically, with the points you earn by using the search engine, you can basically get actual Microsoft gift cards. Typically, when I would do this at maybe like the $50 point, so we can see for $50 cost me 46,000 points. I usually look at it every 1,000 points that I earn is like $1. It's not much, but if it takes me roughly 5 minutes to do these tasks, use their search engine, take a survey, do a poll, look at a website, that's worth it. I can do that passively while walking Kai or during lunch breaks or during breaks at work or just in my interim time. And I just really much enjoy that to the point where they even have it now where you could, let me see if as I trying around here, we can see now I have like 110 points, 110,000. So roughly I have $110 of Microsoft that I can earn Microsoft points that I could use to buy any game I want, not just a specific thing. Over my lifetime, I've earned that much. So once again, I just rounded up to 229. And I've been doing like streaks to get badges. We've all seen this type of stuff, but this is actually a really cool system in which case I do these things and I can turn it into Microsoft money to buy games. And they don't force you to buy specific type of games or specific type of DLCs. And I very much enjoy that. Let me see if I could see where it shows my order history. Because you can also have auto renewal. So like for X number of points will give me $10. So even for less than 10,000, I could get $10. Where do you want to?
Moving you back because it shows order numbers on that page.
Yes. But it's just a cool thing to do. And now because of that, because they give me roughly, in an average month, I can get roughly 15,000, maybe 20,000 points. And if they deduct roughly 10,000 for the $10, I just start to accumulate more and more. Now with those points, I was able to actually cash them in and get Far Cry 6. So I wasn't really that much impressed with it. I wouldn't normally buy it.
The DLC was
but it had bundled with the deluxe edition, the DLC of like the 3 spin-offs with the villains from 3, 4, and 5, which I thought were really cool and are really cool. So I basically used those Microsoft points, converted, and then bought those that Deluxe Edition. Theoretically free. And I enjoyed all of that. Another thing I used is I bought the Kingdom Come Deliverance DLC. Because, DLCs go on sale from time to time, and I could just be like, oh, well, I have this money sitting here. Doesn't cost me anything. I'm just doing these stupid surveys and things. I bought the DLC for that. I bought the DLC for the Lego Forza. And going forward, theoretically, with this system, how I've looked at it is where I can get roughly $10 a month. Cool. So that's $120 a year. Awesome. And then I can cash in probably another $120 a year just from the extra points I have. So that's roughly $240 of Microsoft points I can earn by doing this stupid stuff. I'm not like grinding hours at this. You would notice if I'm grinding hours doing this. I can just easily... Actually, I do a lot of it while walking Kai, because just walking Kai, keep an eye on the dog, do stuff. No big deal. So any games I want in the future, like if I just buy like 2 or 3 games a year, I can just do that with that 240. Or when games go on sale, because games often go on sale, I can pick those up. Like even recently, like the Saints Row 4 remastered went on sale. I picked that up. Didn't cost me anything. It was just the Microsoft points that was accumulating. BioShock Collection remastered also went on sale. $10. Yeah, I'll just buy that.
Is that what you were just playing the other day?
Yeah, that's what I was doing the other day. So the one game this year that I'm really looking forward to is Saints Row. So I will more than likely just cash in Microsoft points and then buy...
Which one?
Saints Row.
The remake?
No, it's just Saints Row. I guess, yeah, remake.
The remake that's coming out.
Yes, I guess you would say it's a remake, yes. So I'm going to use my Microsoft points just to buy that. So I really think it's interesting because there's also a way that I could use these points to buy months worth of Game Pass. So theoretically, if I do this right, I might be able to go infinite on Game Pass where I won't be having to pay for it. And
Until they change the system.
Until they change the system up. But I can just keep basically getting these reward points and doing that. And I think that is awesome to think that, yeah, there's a big buy-in for buying a system and having a TV. But I found a way to, like, I don't really... Like, those 420 games I paid last year, I only bought, like, less than 10. Like, I'm not really spending that much money actually in it, which is just awesome. And I really recommend that. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is, we'll get away from the rewards thing. And if you're interested in reward things, talk to me. I'll talk to you about it. It is awesome. Takes maybe 5-10 minutes a day, and you're just going to be...
I've seen you do it repeatedly.
Yeah, you're going to...
It takes a couple minutes.
Earn money, and it's not money you have to use for specific stuff. It's just Microsoft points. I think I can even buy, like, controllers and systems with if I wanted to.
I think PlayStation has a similar system that Andy's taken advantage of before.
I'm not aware of. Yeah. You think if it was that big of a thing, more people would be doing it. I don't know. But one thing I want to mention, last year, we didn't have E3 because everything's been going remote, but I did last year in 2021 mention that these were the games I was interested in. So we see Doki Doki and Life is Strange, which I played. Starfield, which was supposed to come out in 2022, and we know that's delayed. Plague's Tale, which should be coming out later this year in 2022.
Hopefully that's as good as the first one, because the first one was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And I played Hades and Flight Simulator. Okay.
Hades was so good!
12 Minutes was meh. I enjoyed Forza Horizon 5. It did get a lot of accolades, and I think it deserves it, but once again, it's not really a narrative game. Outer Worlds 2 is whenever that happens. Slime Rancher, hopefully later this year. Replaced got delayed to 2023. Wonderlands. See, Wonderlands I'm looking forward to. Didn't hear that many good things about it, but what I'll do is, around the holiday season this year, it's going to go on sale, and I'll have these Microsoft points that are just burning a hole in the wallet. Ironically, these Microsoft points that I get, the $10 each month, have to be spent within a 3-month time frame. So eventually it's like, hey, you got this money burning, you got to spend it. Mm-hmm. I can easily find something to spend on. There's so many games that are just cheap and like $1 or $2 or $3.
I hate the sound design in Forza so much.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I hate it.
But this right here is like what I was looking forward to.
And Slime Rancher.
And what's going to be interesting is, let me see if I can do this real quick, because this is kind of a catch-all for gaming, not necessarily just for 2021. E3, quote-unquote, happened. Oh, my friends are doing stuff, and let's see if I can find my thing here. This is my Facebook, everybody. Let me see if I can. Should have done this earlier. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Hey, there we go. So this was what kind of happened this year at E3, which wasn't E3.
This year being 2022.
Yeah, 2022.
Because this is a 2021.
We didn't get the Final Fantasy remake for Xbox, which kind of irked me because we're kind of really looking forward to that.
Yeah, we both thought that was going to come.
But instead we get Final Fantasy Crisis Core remake or remaster, whoop-de-doo. Ever Crisis I'm interested in. I'm really happy to hear like the Persona series coming to Xbox.
I know you were super excited for that.
So I'm jazzed for that. We got the Benedict Fox, Thirsty Suitors, which is cool. Immortality, which I'm looking forward to. Cause that's
I'm looking forward to a little to the left. They look so cute. I was watching this game. It's a game about organizing things. Yes. It's a game for me.
We have Immortality, which is the next telling lie / her story type of game. Which is,
that looks cool.
We have Oxenfree 2, which I enjoyed the first
Hell
one, and
yes.
After Party, so that's gonna be fun.
That's Lost Signals, right? That's the Oxenfree sequel.
Yeah. And then you have Plucky Square, which looks interesting. High on Life looks funny as hell because it's like the Rick and Morty people doing stuff. It actually looks really interesting.
It looks like a Borderlands sort of game.
And then it's gonna be more like a Journey to the Strange Planet, with the game where you can pick like talking like a dog. It's gonna have that type of aesthetic, I think.
Oh yeah, if it has that kind of vibe, it'll be great.
And then we have Flintlock, which has that cool little Phoenix Fox that helps you do magical stuff and whatnot.
Oh yeah, the fox.
So it's gonna be interesting to see going forward, a year later, what games have come out, not come out. But the cool thing about the Xbox conference when they did their thing is they were like, "Hey, this stuff coming out within the year." They didn't want to overextend, which was smart.
Which was nice, yeah.
But then it was kind of underwhelming. Yeah, you can go back and forth on it.
It's all right.
But yeah, that's kind of just me doing extra game rambling. I've been wanting to talk about highlighting like the free games that are on Xbox and Microsoft and how you can play them. They're interesting, and you don't have to invest time with them. And not even for the achievement hunters, just the value with Game Pass and Gold and the reward program, to where like you can engage with the reward program and then just have access to Game Pass and just cash it in for whatever. Like you could theoretically do Microsoft reward points for like a year or two, maybe cash up enough points to then buy a cheap Xbox to play. Once again, I think Microsoft and Xbox have been very consumer friendly. Like if we look at PlayStation with how they're doing their tier service with their new Game Pass system, or how they've just treated consumers, and then even like Nintendo, do Nintendo games ever go on sale officially through them? No. But like Game Pass is kind of like PC-ish, but there's a reason why I've been an Xbox gamer for a very long time and continue to be it. But once again, if you're interested in that reward program, let me know. There's no referral thing. I'm not getting a kickback on any of this. But I would definitely love to help people if they want to get into gaming, like an accessible, low-cost version to get that. Factoring in, not even talking about how Xbox can do it streaming to devices now. You can actually stream a lot of games to your old Xbox. It's just crazy how much you can do.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But
and since it's not exclusively stuff for 2021, this year I've been playing a new game that came out called New Carnival. That is an Otomi game. That is it's a yaoi mature game. It's
a gacha game, right?
It's an Otomi gacha game.
Which you're not spending any money in.
No.
But you're enjoying it. It's kind of like you're just fun, kind of zen-like. It's basically filled that Animal Crossing vibe because Animal Crossing doesn't have like.
It's nothing like Animal Crossing.
No,
don't think that.
But it's if Animal Crossing had sexy Chinese people in it, you'd be okay with it.
Yeah, this is a Japanese game. It's very well voice acted too, and it's very pretty.
But yeah, so that's just our extra game rambling for the last couple, like 2021, 2022. Just I wanted to kind of get some points out and just talk about it. So, as always, thank you whoever watches this, which I doubt that many people.
No,
which is fine.
You don't tag things.
I don't tag things. I don't do it. It's more or less just for me to put on record so the AI can make a version of me in the future. This way it has all the different hair types. So, as always, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.